conclusion. Bob Blackman.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I've had more correspondence on Amendment 92 than any other in the last 12 years, and I shall vote accordingly against Baroness Suggs' amendment and against the Government's amendment in lieu. But I rise to speak as Chairman of the All-Party Group on Smoking and Health in support of Amendments 85 to 88, which require the Secretary of State to actually have a consultation on the polluter pays levy on tobacco manufacturers. The levy was the central plank of our recommendations to the Government to deliver the smoke-free 2030 ambition. We had other recommendations, Mr Deputy Speaker, but this was central because funding for smoking cessation and tobacco control has been reduced every year since 2015, and it wasn't reinstated in the spending review or the recent spring statement. Additional funding is absolutely vital to reduce smoking rates amongst the most disadvantaged in society, in particular amongst pregnant women. The current target to reduce the national prevalence of smoking in pregnancy to 6% by 22 will be missed. And I think we should be clear on that. Last year alone, 50,000 women smoked during pregnancy, which caused damage to them and damage to their unborn child. And if we want to create a smoke-free society for the next generation, we must step up our efforts right now. Our recommendation for a levy was strongly supported in the other House, which we're discussing today. Indeed, we're talking about a number of amendments today, but the Government received its heaviest defeat on these amendments, 213 to 154, voting for them, including 2 former health ministers and 2 former chief executives of the NHS, one of whom was also a permanent secretary to the Department of Health. The Noble Lord Naseby, in his remarks, spoke against using a quote from the Exchequer Secretary about the Treasury's 2015 consultation, saying that the levy would add complexity and additional costs, while the amount of revenue it could raise is uncertain. That may have been true in 2015, but it's not the case today. In 2015, we couldn't prevent manufacturers passing the costs on to consumers because we were in the EU. Now we're out of the European Union. One of the benefits of Brexit is that we can prevent the tobacco manufacturers from passing it on. And in fact, Lord Young of Cookham, speaking in another place, said this will allow the Government to put the financial burden firmly where it belongs, on the polluter, not the consumer. And we should not forget that tobacco manufacturers make the highest profit margins of any consumer companies in the world. Just taking Imperial Tobacco, for example, 4 in 10 cigarettes are smoked in the UK come from Imperial Tobacco. They make £71 profit for every £100 in sales, far higher than the average for consumer businesses of £12 to £20. Big tobacco can afford to pay to fix the damage that they do. Yeah. Now, the Government first promised to consider a polluter pays levy in the 2019 Prevention Green Paper 3 years ago, but it's failed to do that already. Economists from the University of Bath have estimated that if this levy is introduced, we could get £700 million a year, and at the time when the public purse is depleted, that's not to be sneezed at. Now, as I said during the report stage of this bill, the Government may resist the measures, and they may resist them today. But we on the backbenches are determined to improve the health of this country. We'll continue to press on them, and we will win the day eventually. And when Javed Khan reports his recommendations, I know for a fact that he will recommend even more stringent measures that the Government will need to introduce.